What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scare Soldier back with another Borderlands 4 video, and in today's video we're going to be sharing our Vex build, our level 50 Vex. This is amazing build. There's no gimmicks, there's no penetrative throwing knives, glitch with the bloodletter thing going on. This is just straight damage, pure mastery with how we set everything up. So for the most part, we have a few legendary weapons that I like for the build. I like the first impression assault rifle. This is extremely good for single target enemies, and this is a gun that you get with the pre-order. So if you did pre-order the game, you guys will get this gun for free, and very good gun. Randy Pitchford was not joking around. This is really strong legendary, which I love to use. Next, we have the maintain ambush in 7th sense. Basically, you hold down your trigger and then it automatically fires, and this thing does a lot of damage at base, and critical hits are extremely devastating to the enemy. Next, I really like the Rainbow Vomit. This comes from the weekly challenge of last week. So one of the replayable missions, we were able to get the Rainbow Vomit. Very powerful shotgun. Absolutely insane how much damage this thing does. And again, another Jacobs. We really like Jacobs for this build, or Vladov are my two favorite manufacturers for Vex at the moment. We also have a Bugbear. The reason why I have this gun is because the way bleed works is that it takes obviously a percentage of the gun damage that you're dealing, and with this weapon here, it scales up to 100% damage and 200% damage radius based on the emptiness of the mag. So the more you shoot, the lower you get into the magazine, the more damage you're doing. So if you hit criticals at that lower range, when you have like 3-4 shots left, those criticals are going to be devastating against those enemies, because the bleed damage is going to proc off of that, and it's really high actually. So this is a fun gun to use. Next, we have the gear. So my favorite rep kit in the game, and I know it's level 28, but it doesn't really matter in this case because we want those bonuses. So we have Leech, which is really good for keeping us alive. So we get 30% lifesteal for 8 seconds, which is fantastic. So not only do we inject ourselves to heal ourselves, but we're also getting that lifesteal, with 30% is extremely high. And then we have Enrage, which is on use grants increased to all damage dealt by 30%. There's a yin and yang symbol because you take 15% more damage, but really I don't find it super noticeable. But it's absolutely incredible in Rage because your damage dealt is in general. So I think that also applies to your minions, your grenades, your damage, pretty much all the damage you do in the game. Next, we have the grenade. So I was just experimenting with this one. It's not that good of a legendary, just so you know. My two favorite grenades, I'll tell you my favorite one is the Vampiric Bubble Satchel. The only problem I don't have it on this build is because it's level 40. So if I was able to get a level 51, the damage would be a lot more scalable for the higher leveled enemies. But this thing is insane. The main thing, what makes this great grenade amazing, is the lingering payload. It spawns 4 rotating beams, dealing 1,200 damage. It does so much damage, this grenade, it's unbelievable. So if you guys get lucky to get this one, make sure to keep these T-door grenades. Obviously, the throwing knives are really fun too. I actually never got lucky enough to get a penetrating augment on mine, but the one I do like is the singularity payload. Actually, it's very, very good. And the reason why is a lot of crowd control. Those singularities really suck in those enemies and completely throws them to the ground. They stop shooting you. It takes off the aggro off of yourself, and not only the aggro off of yourself, but also off of your minions. So pretty much your minions just go to town on these enemies that are all thrown on the floor. So great crowd control and very, very good damage. Easy to use, fun to use. I really like this kind of grenade. Plus, obviously, we have grenade has a 24% chance to deal critical hit damage as well. Next, for class mods, we don't have anything special, but the most special part of it is more of the rolls. So we have kinetic damage 40%, which is enormous, because obviously Vex is doing a lot of kinetic damage, so 40% is insane. 30% status-effect damage, which is stupid, because obviously those bleeds and everything like that we're doing, 30% status effect damage is going to be nuts. And then 20% movement speed just made the character a little faster, which is something I personally like. I like fast characters. And in one of our other builds coming up with Incarnate, you're going to see why that movement speed is really fun to use in general. But look at this one, guys. I wanted to quickly show you. Look at the rolls, man. I swear, if the perks were better, I would have used this one. Elemental damage, status effect damage, and kinetic damage. I got so lucky. But the perks above are not what I want for the build. I needed something to bleed. But look at those rolls. Oh, my God. All right, moving on. We have the Padding Guardian. I love this shield. It has a lower capacity. However, if you look at that recharge time, it's absolutely crazy, guys. If you look at some of the clips in the video, every time my shield goes down, it's already back up. You almost have infinite full shield. Look at the recharge rate. It's instantaneous because the capacity is 30,700 and the refill rate per second is basically the same as the capacity. So you get this shield right back within a second, which is crazy cool. So that's why I like it, but I'm sure there's other shields in the game that maybe are a little bit better. But yeah, that's the shield we're using. Very, very cool. And then lastly, we have the power shot. Again, maybe we can optimize this in a different way, but this is what's working well for me. And a lot of clips you see me using this pistol or the shotgun. But what I really liked about this, basically the enhancement, is because we're getting gun damage. Pistol critical hit damage is increased by 75%, which is absolutely insane. And then that order license parts gain 30% damage when firing from maximum charge, which is also all contributing to those critical hits, which proc bleed, which is 30% of our gun damage. Really, really solid. Another one that I have that I really enjoy is this one here. Gun critical damage in general is increased by 50%. We unfortunately we don't have a lot of guns with Ripper license parts, so we don't benefit from that first enhancement, but those rolls at the bottom we do definitely benefit from, even if they're not Ripper manufactured. Enough about the guns. Let's go to the skills real quick. The skill tree. I do want to shout out Moxie real quick because I did see one of his videos and he recommended actually putting points into guns and needles, which I didn't put points in. I actually went all out into the grave sites at first, but it did make sense because those rep kits give you that bonus. And the bonus that I have, which I'm going to show you again, is that 30% all damage dealt within rage. So the faster I get my rep kit, which is why you see me inject myself often in the clips, is to give myself that 30% bonus damage and my minions, which is why actually getting your rep kit is very, very useful. So shout out to him for that. But pretty much, obviously, Bloodletter, you definitely want to get points into all five into Bloodletter. Obviously, you're getting gun and skill critical hits. They have a chance to bleed, causing kinetic status effect damage over time, which you saw that we're getting in our inventory. More kinetic damage here. We're getting more kinetic damage from the material components. So you see why bleed is so powerful in this build. Then, of course, we're going to be picking up grave sites to get another kill skill, which Vex gains increased critical hit damage and gun handling, but it's more so the critical hit, which is really cool. I would have loved to put more points into grave power, but honestly, I went all out in damage, to be honest. Next, we have the blue tree. I will be making another build with Incarnate because I have a really, really crazy build with this, but for level purposing, I do enjoy the Dead Ringer a lot too. The minions are super, super strong. So yeah. definitely the Dead Ringer. So what we did here, we put 5 points into Sanguine Fiends, whatever. It's a kill skill. This obviously because when you use the minions, you'll notice that they don't have a timer on them, but what they do have is the health. And depending on their health, for example, that's going to dictate how long they stay up. So if you want your minions up, you got to give them more health. Next, we put 5 points into Portents of Suffering. This is more statistic damage. Again, statistic damage is very big and 35% is massive. Then we're going to be activating all our kill skills whenever Vex minions die. This is helpful for us to keep up some of our kill skills, our damage, so that while the minions start to die off one by one, we keep that damage going. It's only 1 point, so not bad. Then we have kill skill again. Vex gains increased action skill cooldown rate because we want those minions to come back as fast as possible. Honestly, this one, it stacks, so that's why it's actually pretty good. So if you get more kills, you can get your minions back a little faster, which is great in mobbing scenarios. Then lastly, again, a shout out to the video by Moxie because I didn't have points in this before. Actually, I had more points into this section of the tree, but I didn't realize how powerful the prismatic Ichor was. So I moved my points over as well because it made more sense. You're getting 150% of the initial status effect to basically when Vex or her minions apply a status effect, you apply another random elemental status. And it's 150% of the initial status effect, which is extremely, extremely strong. And I didn't realize how much it was until I actually experimented with it myself. So definitely recommend that. And again, shout out to Moxie for pointing that perk out specifically. The rest is pretty standard. Vex and Spectres deal bonus damage with gun critical hit. This is a no-brainer to go ahead and grab that. You're getting bonus 30% damage and bonus damage multiplier 50% per active attunement skill, which is great. Then we have the Vex gains increased minion damage. Minion skills and command skills gain further damage. So you just see how the damage just scales, guys, with your minions, with Vex, with her kill skills. Absolutely insane. And then lastly, we put 1 point into the Denier, whatever, because Dead Ringer gains an additional charge. So again, because that cooldown rate is low, instead of having 3 charges, you're going to get an extra one. So go ahead, call out all 3 of your minions, and then you still have 1 ready to go once all of them go away. So that by the time the duration of your minions are gone, you already have 2 ready to go again to start the cycle all over again. And you want your minions to be up as much as possible because they're doing so much damage as well as you are. So creates survivability, takes off the aggro from you. Having your minions is a big advantage. Lastly, we have the Capstone Dark Pack. This is obviously a no-brainer too because now we can equip 2 augments and gain the ability to use when we gain the ability to use Dark Pack. And Dark Pack, basically when you press and hold L1, which I do quite often, Minion is active to fully restore health of all face clones as well as granting increased movement speed and minion attack speed. So basically this is going to increase their attack speed, therefore more DPS overall. So your clones are going to be hitting a lot faster. Plus, obviously, this is very good because their health is going to take a halt. So their activeness is going to stay. So the duration is going to be longer when you activate Dark Pack. So amazing capstone to have for the purpose of the build. So that's the skill tree. Also going to go into specializations. If you guys have that unlocked, you guys are already at the end game, which I'm assuming by giving you this end game build. So what we did was we put 20 points into Brute. But anyways, the whole point is that we started into Brute because this gives us a bonus in gun damage straight up. So very, very good. But the perks inside are really awesome. So aside from entering Fight for Your Life, all guns are automatically reloaded and Vault Hunter gains increased fire rate, which I think is actually really nice. But it's really the second one, the CQC, which is cool too because melee damage grants Vault Hunter increased fire rate for duration. That's actually not bad because if you would like to use the the Reapers, you can actually benefit from this. But the skill that I wanted the most was Killer, which is why I put more points into Brute. And of course, Riddle You This. So Riddle You This, whenever the Vault Hunter deals gun damage, you gain a stack of Riddle You This, which is increasing gun damage. Stacks are lost if a new stack has not been gained for a duration, but look, you get 50 potential stacks. Your gun damage increases per stack up to 50% more gun damage. So you just gotta basically shoot things, you get more gun damage stacks, which increase your gun damage. So the longer you shoot at something, the more gun damage you do. Pretty insane. Killer, which is really cool, is because the Vault Hunter gains increased critical critical hit damage and status effect damage. And if you paid attention to the build so far, critical hit damage and status effect damage are really, really big parts of this build. So increasing that is a must. And then by putting points in here, we're getting critical hits grant increased status effect application chance. So we can actually apply status effects even more so. And then compounding affliction. Enemies take increased damage for each status effect applied to them, which is just dumb. So obviously, with that application chance going up, we're going to have a status effect on the enemy. And therefore, if you shoot that enemy that has a status effect applied to them, they're going to be taking more damage because of that. So it's just, the synergy is beautiful. It's so beautiful this way. Next, we got Sharpshooter. The Vault Hunter gains increased reload speed and accuracy. That I actually like because I find the gun reload speed sometimes a little annoying, a little slow. So this is cool. But again, the perks that we really want from this is in the zone. Because while aiming, the Vault Hunter gains increased gun damage and critical hit damage once again per second. Bonuses are lost after 2 seconds of not aiming. Big deal. But while you're aiming, you're getting gun damage of 5% per stack. Critical hit damage 5% per stack. Maximum stacks 5%. So this could be, if you aim long enough, which is only a few seconds, 25% more gun damage, critical hit damage 25% total while you're aim shooting, which can be also beneficial if you're hitting those critical hits. You're aiming, you're finding the critical hit, you shoot, you're getting more damage. Pretty cool stuff. So that's how we did our specialization so far. Once we get more points, we'll decide where we do. I think this excessive damage could be interesting, but we'll take a look at that later. So that's pretty much it. We have the in the zone, the Sharpshooter one equipped. We have the Contamination equipped. We have the Riddle You This, and we have the Compounding Affliction. And all this together, guys, we don't even need that penetrative augment on our knife, throwing knife, whatever. This build itself just does a ton of damage. So go ahead and give it a try. Let me know what you think. It's your boy Scared Soldier signing out. Peace.